Ladies and gentlemen, I have been watching the coverage of President Trump in the Bronx, and I don't know if you are aware of what is happening, but you are seeing history being made. You are seeing an enthusiasm and that same feeling we got the first time around. At long last, our nightmare appears to be over. Do you have any idea what's about to happen? Do you have any idea of how you have had to suffer, of what you've had to endure, of what you have been a part of up to now? Do you have any earthly idea of how you've had to suffer and what this is going to mean to you? Do you have any idea? Any idea? Any? What are you going to do when you finally see, when you see that moment where Donald Trump, and I hope he goes directly to the White House, goes to work, no inaugural, nothing. Say a few words, thank you very much, and let's go to work. No parties, no balls, no gala. Don't let them turn you down. Just go. And understand what you've accomplished. Not since Grover Cleveland. Understand what you've done. And you persisted. Now you might say to yourself, are you getting ahead of it? So what? Let me smile for a moment. Do you mind? Let me think of something good for a moment. Let me think of this. And you're entitled to, dear friends. You are entitled to. What we have been through is just unimaginable. Now do me a favor and remember, first, that the election is 166 days away. I can't say that enough. I can't put that into perspective enough. 166 days away. This is the most frightening. I am trepidatious. I'm excited. And I'm wondering, until I hear that, so help me God, I will not believe it. Sit tight, my friends. Let us enjoy. Let us revel. Let us talk. Let us dream. Let us embrace. Okay? And let us think and dream and be happy for once. Let us once say, you know what? I want to be happy again. I want to feel in charge again. Don't you? Of course you do. So, my friends, please make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're a part of this. Make sure you are listening. Make sure you are doing exactly what has to be done. I say to you, my dear friends, make sure you do exactly what has to be done. And make sure you are a part of this thing that we are doing right now. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the little button to be notified of new videos and the like. And make sure also that you like this video. It means so much to us and to get the word out that you like the video. But first, my friends, when it comes to a very serious topic of food supplies, of food preparation, of emergency food, of food insecurity, remember this website. Remember this, preparewithlionel.com. It's no longer a question of if something catastrophic is coming, it's when. And while you still have some control, what are you going to do about it now to prepare? Well, your first step is going to my website, preparewithlionel.com. And for a limited time, take $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you and your family to prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already. These 3-month kits with ready hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day with 22 varieties and a 25-year shelf life. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything. And they're sealed inside 6 rugged waterproof buckets and they're over 120 pounds of food. So take advantage right now and go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. One more time, preparewithlionel.com. Now, my friends, let us talk about this and let us enjoy this moment. Because what we have been going through, what we have been through is absolutely unimaginable and unconscionable. When you watch the president, understand what he has been through. Understand how he has been able to make this, to just handle this, to weather the storm, the money, the lawyers, the fears, the constant, incessant attack from everyone. This man can handle anything. Anything. He looks exactly the same. He absolutely looks. It's wonderful. He looks the same. He doesn't seem to age. He doesn't seem to, unlike his predecessor. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to make any, I'm not going to apologize, whatever. Joe Biden has no business being anywhere near the presidency. He is a coot. He is absolutely, without a doubt, he is a coot. Okay? Have I made myself clear? I think I have. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? I'm already talking to friends of mine. We're tweeting back, not tweeting, messaging, and I am absolutely just laughing my head off. I have a friend of mine who does not know about ChatGPT, and he said, "Don't tell me you're going to vote for Trump." So I said, "ChatGPT, write 1,000 words in one single paragraph, explaining the virtues of President Trump, his qualifications, how the country will better, blah, 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 blah. Just do it." And he gives me one of these. Now, he doesn't understand what I'm doing. So all of a sudden, he gets this text like this. And he said, wow. I mean, he doesn't, anybody else would say, oh, this is ChatGPT. He doesn't understand it. He writes something like, wow. Then I say, give me 1,500 words about how the word wow indicates somebody who has not thought this through and basically has a political understanding of a child. Boom. So I've been doing this back and forth, having the time of my life. It's wonderful to see the crew on The View, to see them. We have been through, again, and I know what you're saying. You're saying, don't jinx it. I can't jinx it. I'm not that important. I'm not that powerful. I'm not that powerful. I'm not that important. I can't jinx it. I simply can't. I can't do it. It doesn't work like that. I wish I could, but I can't. I'm not that powerful. I'm not that important. But I'm going to say what happens. The president has to always remember that he's got to tell people what it is they want to hear. What is he going to do for you? Not what has he done, but what is he going to do for you? What are your suggestions? What do you suggest the president do? How does he handle Israel? How does he handle Palestine? How does he handle crime? Everything else is pretty much, straightforward. What does he say about abortion? What does he say about gays? What does he say about anything? What does he say? What is the position that he has to maintain? We have to poach new voters, and they're not going to come from the right. Who? And by the way, Nikki Haley today endorses him. Of course she is. What is she supposed to do? Endorse who? Come on. Look, she was okay as an ambassador. Leave her there. Lincoln had basically every one of his political adversaries on his cabinet. We're not going to find people who are perfect. We're not going to find people who agree with everything that he does. But what is the message? What is the message? And the first deal, he's going to have to ask himself, I got to do polling. The good news is, I don't think America knows anything about what's going on in Israel. I really don't. I think that's kind of a rarefied, maybe a European sort of thing that may be big on college campuses, but I guarantee you, nobody in this Bronx crowd knows anything about Israel, has no, whatever, support them. I'm telling you, I know this. This is the part that people don't understand. The American voter is not like the rest of the country. It's not like the rest of the world. The American voter is a different story altogether. The American voter is different. The American voter is not the same. The American voter is not what you think. The American voter is not the same. The American voter wants to talk about the economy, but not the economy in terms of things like inflation and things. Those words don't work. The voter has to talk about, I want to be able to keep more of my money, less taxes, fix this, stop giving money away to different countries. What are you going to do about Israel? Believe me, I don't think anybody, I don't even know if they understand the Ukraine thing. I honestly, God, don't know. And the best part about it is, to be honest with you, the amount of money that goes to these companies is a drop in the bucket compared to entitlements and Social Security and everything else. I don't know. He's got to say things that resonate completely. He has to have facts. He has to be able to say specifically, this is what's going on. There is a resurgence in this country. Did you see where the Portland, Maine police chief was trounced because they've had it? George Soros and his crew have seen to it that they have selected and put into office individuals, those people who are absolutely, positively, without a doubt, the most horrid when it comes to us. Do you understand this? The most horrid. What they have done is inexplicable. What they have done to this country, it's over with. And already you're seeing this change. I mentioned this to you before. There is good news coming in our social world, in our environmental world, well, in our cultural world. I'll leave it at that. The biggest thing what people don't understand is that the biggest, one of the worst periods of time ever that we had to go through was during the period from 89 to 91. And that was when political correctness was at its peak. It was worse than anything you could ever even imagine. It was horrible. This was when college professors couldn't read talk about Red Riding Hood, where one college professor had to walk hand in hand with another male professor to understand what the gay position was, or something. Actually, this is, I'm not making this up. When trigger warnings and microaggressions, this was 89 to 91. This is when it really, this is when they called it PC. Do you remember this? PC. And what happened afterwards? There was a great piece in today's National Review. I don't know if it was today, by Mr. Schneider. I think his name is Christian Schneider. It is fantastic. And they act like the whole country turned into like an HR division where we started to just blast people. We want that to change. And here's the thing. It's never going to change if you live in a world where you have as the president of the United States a man, aside from being befuddled, who has people working for him who are themselves woke, leftist, lunatic freaks. Do you have any idea of what we have had to go through? He has put a lot of judges, I forget, what's it, 200? Dear God. From Mayorkas, go down the list. Do you remember how we had to actually sit, think about this, with judge after judge, nominee after nominee, sit before John Kennedy and others and say with a straight face, say that they could not define specifically what a woman or a man was. This is what we saw. We had this. Do you recall this? It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Seriously. Do you remember that? Do you remember when you would sit around and I always think to myself, this is terrible because I always think, what if you could bring back your grandfather or somebody and say, I want you to watch this. Watch this. You're not going to believe this. What is this? This is what's going on now. This is what's going on now. Are you kidding me? Grandpa, I'm not kidding you. This is what's going on now. This woman is a professor at Harvard Medical School, and she cannot answer the question, what is a woman? I want you to stop for a second. You probably don't remember what that means. And the reason why is because, well, you don't remember it happened so quickly and became so much a part of the scenery that you didn't really think anything about it. You seriously, you really didn't. It caught you by surprise. And it doesn't mean anything to you because you lived through that. You lived through that. We're not going to see that anymore. Think about that. We're not going to see that anymore. Let me say this again. We're not going to see this anymore. What is the one thing how can I say this? We're not going to have to hear about men and you're going to hear somebody maybe on Twitter or not Twitter, but TikTok or whatever the hell it is. But we're not going to have to hear this. We're not going to hear Mayorkas and these fools and these rubes allow my beloved republic to just be swarmed. We're going to have to find out also who's in this country. The president's got to say this. I've got to find out who's here. Who are they? And the very first thing, he's got to understand this. Mr. President, write this down. You have to constantly talk to us using, I don't care if it's Truth Social, that might be different because you're an investor, but I want you to do this. I want you to hear this. I want you to re-engage us. I want you to redefine the way things work. Let me explain this to you, sir. Let me explain this to you. Imagine after week 1, he has this event and it's on, I don't know, YouTube. Who knows where it's on? And he has people sitting around and he's in the cabinet room or wherever he is. And he tells you, do you know what, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans? I want you to meet somebody. This is my INS head. This is Department of Homeland Security. This is whatever it is. I'm going to ask them a question. Watch this. Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, do you know how many people were actually brought into this country? Illegal aliens brought in, not who slipped by, not who's, in the middle of the night, but basically we're standing there as they were coming in, as you were trucking them in and flying them in, and those who came in. Do you know, Mr. or Mrs. Jones, how many people were brought here? No, you don't. You don't know that, do you? No, I don't. You don't know that, do you? Could it be 1 million? Oh, more. 10 million? Maybe. Maybe. Where are they? We don't know. Who are they? We don't know. Do we have records of who they are? No. Mr. So-and-so, you're in charge of INS. Did you talk to your counterparts at the Biden administration? Have they talked to you? Have they assisted? Maybe they help. Maybe they don't. I don't really know. Of the people who came here, do they have, how many of them were checked for, you brought it up, COVID? Anybody? Tuberculosis? Remember this, honey? We know doctors. The TB. I used to have this friend of mine who said TB, and I don't mean tremendous balls either. And I love that. I said, what does that mean? But anyway, there are people right now, seriously, listen to what I'm saying. There are people who are coming in with tuberculosis, antibiotic resistant. You don't know what. So I want the president to say, by the way, because we're finding out right now, do you know what happened during the Biden administration? And by the way, and it's not just the Biden administration, it's Democrats. We don't know how many people are here. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they went. We can't find them. We don't know where they are. They opened up, they let people in. They are squatters. They allowed squatting in homes. Where did squatting come from? It was a part of the mentality. America has to know this. The president has to say, here's another one we found out. You ready for this? You ready for this one? You can't just let up. He's got to do a good job. Go forward. But he has to tell us, this is what I'm finding out. And tell people, destroy his legacy. Look what they did. Let me tell you what Mayorkas did. Let me tell you what happened to the Department of Justice. Let me tell you what happened to Merrick Garland. See Merrick Garland, that liar, where he said, I think it's terrible. Shoot to kill orders. You signed it. You knew all about it. What's the matter with you? This is something we can't believe. We've never seen this before. He's got to redo this. He can't let anybody off the hook. And the first one, I don't care how it's done. I don't care if it's statute of limitations. I want to have hearings. Get Jim Jordan to do this. I want to know specifically, how did you allow Tony Fauci to get away with murder? How did this happen? No. Who is it? I want to know who's involved. If this is still being covered up now, it's an ongoing conspiracy. The statute of limitations is told. It's continued because the crime is continuing. It's not over with yet. If Anthony Fauci and his co-workers are still pursuing the lie of Wuhan, they have to be prosecuted. I want to see him in the dock. I want to see this. And I don't want to do one of these Jim Jordan show trials or Rand Paul. It's different now because he's in charge. I don't know who the attorney general is going to be, but I'll bet you there are. When you have people now say, you know what, maybe we were wrong about the mask, you still see these sick bastards walking around with masks on. And now even though the people who said that are now saying, we were wrong about that. We were wrong about that. What is happening here? Seriously, what is, nobody's held accountable except Trump. That's over with. That's absolutely over with. It is the great. I'm telling you, and to see black folks and people who have said enough of this. And let me also tell you, I know you're going to run into these people, but people that you know are demented. Listen to what I'm saying to you. They are demented. They are people who are, without a doubt, living in another, maybe a parallel universe. I don't know what it is. I've got a friend of mine who's, I got to read this to you. I'm not going to mention his name, of course, but I got to read this text to you. This is what I got to deal with. And this is a smart dude and a very successful person and blah, 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 blah. Listen to this. He says, okay, I got to read this to you. Oh, I got to read this to you. Let me see. Oh, here we go. They keep talking about this is what a friend of mine writes. Let's say hypothetically that much of what you say is true. Now please write down the negatives, the downsides of another Trump presidency. Let's not forget that the man has had at least 8 failed businesses. Stop right there. What the hell does that have to do with what's going on? This is the best you can do. Businesses 8. You mean like the Trump? What are you talking about? What are you talking? This is the mentality. What about now? We've had 4 years. You're talking about businesses. He's promised vendettas against anyone who has crossed him. He did his best to overthrow the last election. He still refuses to accept that it was a fair election. He encourages followers to invade the Capitol in a display so disgusting that even the Republicans in office denounced it. Until Trump threatened them, he says he'll pardon all of them. He has been married 3 times. He's a disgusting human being. And I'm thinking to myself, this is what I'm dealing with. Have you see, this is where I can't even speak. Have you been watching what's going on here? This is the way these people think. This is the way I mean, seriously, it's not Trump derangement syndrome. It's these people have the inability to think rationally. I don't know what it is. They can't, I don't understand it. What are you, do you think I or anybody liked LBJ? LBJ was probably the closest thing to a psychopath you will ever see, and an alcoholic, and probably killed his sister. What's her name? Josephina? Mac Wallace most probably killed her. He was a crook. He was corrupt. They were going to burn him. He was at the, what was it, the Life Building or whatever? They were about to explain when Kennedy was killed. They were going to indict. Now, that being said, whatever you say about LBJ, and the left loves LBJ, Great Society, all this other bullshit. Okay. Trump on his best day, couldn't compete with this person. And they just don't like him. And I said, did this, you just, and I'm going to explain something to you. And listen to me carefully. When people hate blacks or Jews or gays or whatever, when prejudice starts, it's like this. This is a mini model of it. They hate each other with a passion that is unrivaled. They hate each other with a passion. It doesn't connect with anything. And this friend talks to I'm serious, talks to this friend, and they watch CNN and they watch Rachel Maddow and they watch The View, and there's more outlets for hatred. In the old days, before, this stuff, if you wanted to hate, let's say, LBJ or Nixon, well, you had to find somebody. You didn't really hear it on TV. The closest thing, you probably don't remember this, the closest thing anybody ever came to, believe it or not, was the Smothers Brothers. The Smothers Brothers. Honest to God. I'm not kidding you. That was as close to it as you were going to get. The Smothers Brothers. And they put it, you can't say that. And they made these, maybe it was during Nixon, I think, but they made these veiled references. So understand something. We didn't have this. If you want to hate somebody, I can show you hate. I can show you memes. And I mean, you don't know hate. We revel in hate. We grovel in hate. We hate. We love hate. We love it. And it's demented. And it distorts perception like you've never seen before. It's a pathology. I'm not just saying this. It is a pathology. And what's interesting to note is that it gets worse. It's worse than anything I've ever seen before. And I said, how can you sit back over 4 years of this? And it's like they don't care what Biden did. They hate Trump. That's it. Let me say this again. They don't care. For 4 years, they've been in a bubble. Like, whatever. Trending today on tweet was George Floyd, the legacy. This man was a thug, a crook, a drug addict, a miscreant. Sorry that he died. Probably died of a fentanyl overdose. And this country shut down because of this rancid vermin. And he was beatified. Remember the pictures of him with the wings, and they brought in Ben Crump. I guess he was, I don't know what he was talking about. And now mind you, that looked, believe it or not, that police officer Chauvin, he was hung out to dry. They destroyed this country because of that man. They were waiting for him. Let me tell you something. They're waiting again. They are waiting again. The next time there's a shooting, the next time there's something, and it's tragic, the next time there's any kind of tragic shooting where the police mistake, somebody gets hurt, somebody gets misidentified, whatever the hell happens, I promise you, like I cannot promise you anymore, they are standing by ready for this. They're ready to move in. By the way, I need 600 likes. Sorry. I need 600 likes. I don't want to ask. I'm doing the best I can, my friends. I'm doing the best I can. I need your help. I need those likes. I need you to like this. It's a very, very simple thing. It's just Mrs. Allen and me. It's just us. We're here. We don't have no producers, no nothing. Every single day, cranking this out. Every single day, cranking this out. It's exhausting. When I get done after an hour and plus of this, I am just, my head is, I want you to go into a bathroom, go to your bathroom, and I want you to look in front of the mirror, and I want you to look at your watch and say, go, and talk for an hour. And don't mumble. Don't sit there and say, well, yeah. Maintain a level of energy. Maintain something that people at least want to hear. Talk about something that you feel passionate about. For an hour. Twice a day. 7 days a week. Plus other times you're going to be doing it too. Do this. I want to see you, Bill Maher. You do it, Bill Maher. You do it. You moron. Do it. It's like nothing you've ever seen. It is the most incredible thing. I can't put it into words. It's wonderful. I think ultimately it keeps us young because I'm believe me, most people my age are not taxing themselves with this. But Aside from that, it's one of those things which I really have a passion for this, and I thank whoever Almighty that I'm able to do this. Johnny Maz the Spaz says, just for your information, it's getting tough to super chat. Changing words, spacing words isn't working that well. That may be a reason for you not seeing much. Oh, well, that could very. You know what? I do not know about that. I do not know, sir. I do not know that. And I thank you for that. I do not. Might I suggest something to you? This may be something. I have an idea. Why don't you just give the money without a lot of words and then follow up on the words? And then when you do that, I'll say, oh, I'm going to look for, and then you're going to write your comment or whatever it is. Just a thought. I'm just saying, you don't have to necessarily say, boy, I'd love to give this, but I can't write. I keep writing Israel and Hitler, and it won't. I don't understand it. I'd love to give you the money. So here's what we do. Just say, hi, send it, and then follow up on one of your things. And then I'll say, okay, I'll go look for it. Just saying. Call me crazy. That's what I would do. That's me. You got that? I'm just saying to you. I'm just. It's kind of a workaround. Not a reach around, but a workaround. We are in for a battle of the wills, my friend. We are in for a battle the likes of which you cannot believe. You understand this? And your kids, what they're going to go through? Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I don't even know what to tell you. Anybody here have any kids? Anybody here who've have any kids? Young people? Anybody have any young people? Grandchildren? Do you understand what's going on? See you, Sue. Sue's leaving, by the way. Sue's had enough. He said, I'm getting the hell out of here. Be good and drive carefully. Button up, Sue. Be careful. What do you think about this? Any of you have any children, perchance? I have kids and grandkids. What do you do to protect them? Lisa's got grandchildren. What do you, look at one son. And of course, we're talking about younger folks. Talk about talking. Trump's still talking. Isn't it something? Shelley B said that. He's incredible. He is absolutely, positively incredible. What they are going to do to your children is unconscionable. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. Seriously, this is a thing, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You're going to have to explain to them predation. You're going to have to explain to them the notion of the phone. This phone. Do your kids, I don't know if they probably don't have any young kids. Do your kids have a phone they take to bed? No. What? Oh, Madeline? Okay. One of Mrs. L's warriors is on the stage as we speak. Barry Taylor says, I still can't get over how little attention Melania got when Trump was the POTUS. Oh, please. You know why? They were jealous. They were jealous of her. This was the thing I do not understand. They were jealous of her. Dear God. Don't you understand this? They told that Anna Wintour, that freak with the bad wig from Vogue, they said, if you've got arguably the most glamorous, and we can argue the most glamorous first lady ever. Ever. And don't give me this Jackie Kennedy bullshit either. Jackie Kennedy was like, looks like reptilian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And let me tell you something. The Kennedys, those people were just absolutely, what do they call them? Shanty Irish. Just, they'd screw anything that moved. They had no moral. But Jackie had these wonderful. You want to read something weird about her and Lee Radziwill with that father of theirs, Blackjack Bouvier? Dear God. I don't even want to get started. Did you ever hear about Jack Kennedy's friend? His roommate? Jack Kennedy had no, I call him Jack, had no, he was, it's not that he was non-binary. This guy, remember the old bunch, he stuck a snake if you hold a head. This guy was the worst. These people. And you had Melania Trump and not one picture, nothing on Vogue. Can you imagine her closet? Seriously. And you've got Jill Biden. Remember, with all due respect, look, Jill Biden, whatever. But so don't even start me with this. Let me take a brief minute, interrupt this, my friends, because our dear friend, Mike Lindell, you know I love this guy, at mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, still fighting, still standing, and still making the best pillow, and you're going to buy them, you're going to support him, and you're going to buy everything they have, and you're going to put promo code Lionel. That's what you're going to do. This is a pre-hypnotic suggestion. It's time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com, and if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, listen carefully. Check out their $25 extravaganzas. Premium My Pillows, Queen and King, My Pillow 2.0, My Pillow bed sheets, the lowest price ever. Sandals, slides, slippers, 6-piece towel sets, 4-pack dish towel sets. Simply and absolutely unbelievable. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965 and watch how fast Mike Lindell answers the phone. mypillow.com, simply and absolutely the best. My friends, I want to talk about this Melania for a second. Sometimes things are just so unfair. I told you, and I said to myself, Anna Wintour, as you know, is this hag, this harridan. How she is the arbiter of fashion and beauty, I have no earthly idea. Diana Vreeland looked like a Buick, but she had class. This is when Vogue really meant something. There was something in this time where there was class. Then you got this Anna Wintour, who's running around. Oh, you talk about again, I don't know. I think if the stories are true, who was she after? Was it Federer or somebody? Anyway, she's just like, but that stupid wig. I mean, I'd say, you know why wigs bother me? Let me tell you. Wigs bother me because wigs are saying, I think you're stupid enough to think this is real hair. That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. I mean, that's it. You know, when these, remember these old strippers would have like these 96 triple G, you know, these terrible things. They did that knowing you knew they made no bones about it. Okay, fine. The wig is different. The wig says, you think this is real, don't you? Oh, yeah, I think it's real. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, Mick Jagger. Yeah, that's your hair. You're 80 years old. Yeah, sure, I believe that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's your hair. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. It's okay. I get it. But here's the thing which I always said. Melania Trump should have done something which nobody ever listens to me because I'm used to it. So what are you going to do? Melania Trump should have said, I'm going to put together my own, I'm going to get the best photographers and I'm going to take everything I own and they will give her stuff. I don't know if she buys anything. Can you imagine what her closets look like? Okay. And women would salivate over that. Salivate. I find the whole idea of here's my closet, here are my shoes. What? Here are your shoes. Here are your shoes. You've got your shoes. You want me to look at this? What do you want me to do with that? What? Well, look at it. Okay, there's your shoes. All right. How about your tools? Can I see your tools? Do you have those? Can we take you out to the garage? Show me your. It's weird. But anyway, if you went to the store and there was a big, thick, like a really well put together, like a big coffee table book, the first lady at the White, thick bond, very thick paper, glossy, great photography. They'd be gone in a heartbeat. All the money going to Wounded Warriors or whatever the hell you want. It would set the record. You couldn't keep these things. Why didn't they do that? Tell Anna Wintour, tell her the wig, what is it, peluca, whatever the word. Tell her that's it. You and Vogue and these other people, forget it. Go ahead with Jill. Remember Jill? Poor thing. Jill Biden had that. I don't know what there was. Kind of like the multicolored coat thing, it was weird. What was that? Edward, whatever, and the electric coat. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. They didn't do that. They didn't. And also, the president's got to realize, is he still talking? He's still talking. He started when? What? 6, 7 o'clock? No. About 7 o'clock? This is the most important thing in the world. This guy's still talking. They're trying to put him in jail, prison for the rest of his life. And wouldn't you be depressed? Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, I got to go to court again? Who's going to pay for all this stuff? He's in trials, multiple trials, multiple. The good news is that Jack Smith thing, that thing is gone. In fact, Jack Smith's in trouble. The immunity case, forget it. I don't know when they're going to think that one. The Engeron case, with Tish James, that was a civil case. But this, you've got, and Fannie. Oh my God. They are circling the wagon at Fannie. Okay. I hope you see this. Did you see my stuff today? It was very good. It's very good. The first one is, did you see it? It was, this one's coming up later on. By the way, if you're a Lionel Nation member, yeah, this is at 9, it drops. Here's one. I love this story. Did you hear this one did you follow the Diddy case? Oh, I'm changing the subject just a little bit. Wouldn't you love to see everybody? I'm going to tell you something right now. You know what I would love to see? And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, this is terrible. And also I did this piece on why Bill Maher thinks he's politically astute and knows what he's talking about. Bill Maher is the biggest con guy in the world. How he's on, I have no earthly idea. In any event, the person I would like to see in handcuffs more than anybody else. Who? Let me ask you who. Who would it be? One person. You get to see him frog marched. Mugshot, the whole bit. I got one for you. You're not gonna see this one coming. And it will shock you to no one. But let me hear you first. And by the way, make sure you watch those. Who? By the way, Nightingale and Lionel Legal is coming along just fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you. PBT butchered Bill Maher. Everybody butchered him. Megyn Kelly butchered him. Bill Burr butchered him. He's stupid. Bill Gates, Joy Reid, Mayorkas. That's an interesting spelling, Hillby. Mayo Racas. Okay, that's good. I like that. Fauci, no. Garland, no. Schwab, nah. Who is it? Come on. Mershon, I like that. Dave the Wave. Who is it? Soros? Mine's simple. You ready for this? Oprah. If we knew Oprah, what she did, you see the pictures of her lately with, I don't know why they came up. They remind me of Sean Penn. Remember that? Remember Oprah? And they go, Oprah is. Oh, Sean Penn was. Brad Paisley, that son of a gun. And also, this was for Kenya, right? Oh my God. Don McLean, American Pie. Oprah Winfrey is, to me, the biggest phony, fraud, artificial, propped up, shadow government, high priestess of bullshit anybody had ever seen. Absolutely the queen mother. She's not Lizzie Solak. She's that's our queen mom, so to speak. This group of people, you want to put them all together? Here we have, this is what I hope. I'm changing the subject, by the way. I'm changing the subject. Here we got Diddy. Diddy freaks out. Diddy gets pissed off. You sit Diddy down. I can't even sing. It sounds like I'm always singing. What did Diddy do? You sit Diddy down. Diddy down. Why do? Why Diddy did? I sound like Leon Redbone. You sit Diddy down and say, "Where are your friends now, Diddy? Where are your friends now, pal? Where are they? Anybody come to help you? Anybody? Where's Jay-Z? What's his name? Jay-Z? Is he here? Nope. What about LeBron James? Remember him? He was your buddy. You don't. LeBron James in there? Is Dave Chappelle helping you out? No, he doesn't like you, does he? Probably not. Who else? Anybody else? How about Fitty? No, Fitty's doing the documentary on you. Forget that one. Sorry about that. Who else? Tyler Perry? Nah, different league. You're nothing. Snoop? No. Anybody else? Who? How about Ice-T, Ice Tray, Ice Cube, whatever the hell it is? No, nobody. Nobody's. Wait a minute. Nobody's helping you? You mean you're on your own? Oh, Jesus. That's weird, isn't it? Nobody comes to help you? You wouldn't have any information to get back at these rat bastards, would you? You would? Wait a minute. Well, where do you have that? Can we look at some of this stuff? What do you mean it's missing? They took it into search? They did, didn't they? So you don't have your stuff, do you? No. So if you wanted to give people up, you wouldn't be able to do it because they took it all in the search, right? So you're on your own, don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, where in the hell have you been, Yogi Fish? We will all be free of this political horror soon. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. L. Yogi, I have not seen you. This is terrible. I feel this warm moment of Yogi's been with us since, my God, since we started this. Good to see you, my friend, and thank you. It's just, I'm telling you, it's like a blast from the past. So many great people. Just when we first started in the old days, it was kind of fun. It was like everything was great, and then anyway. Thank you, Yogi. But I want to keep going with this. So listen, Diddy, what's it going to be? Who's going to pay all these mortgages? Who's going to pay all these kids? Where's your money coming from? Where? All your deals are shot. The rum done, this one, that, this. Right? Nobody wants you. You're a third rail. Are they coming to help you? No, because there's a bunch of rat bastards. And they're going to hang you out to dry, Diddy. They don't care about you. You're nothing to them. You know how to get them back? Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. And then we start peeling it, that layer. And then we find out that one day these organizations are drug cartels, trafficking, women, sex. They used to call it white slavery. Remember that years ago? And then you get this one, and then you get that one, and then you get this one. And pretty soon, and you get to the very top, and they say, well, I'm not going to go away alone. Let me tell you, who runs the show, Oprah? Who's your boss? Who gives you your marching orders? When you decided, let me tell you something. Listen to what I'm saying. When she decided to go after the royal family and use Meghan Markle, remember that one? Do you know what she did? These people are killers. They are. Listen to me. I don't use this term lightly. I don't use this term lightly. Now, you can believe whatever you want. You could think that Princess Di was driving around. It was unfortunate. Or you can listen to prevailing wisdom and know that Mohammed Fayed, who basically pissed off the Brits like you can't believe, including, more importantly, anybody else, Philip. And he hated Di. And there was a chance that she was carrying Fayed. She was probably pregnant. And that the mother of the future king of England has some Egyptian Muslim kid. And Fayed, her arch enemy who bought Harrods. Do you not see this? All of a sudden, goodbye. Tragedy. Why do you explain they didn't give a shit? That was another one. You think the queen did this on purpose? Like, I'm not going to lift a finger. I'm not going to say. They were going crazy. All right. They walked aside. And Philip walked around with his hands behind him. Oh, flowers. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Okay, are we done, Lizzie? Let's go back inside. So, who was it who exposed the royal family? Who was it who brought Meghan Markle on the floor in front of everybody and said, tell us they're racist? And Harry, that castrated little nymph, that little ballless twit, that imprisoned a testicular nothing ginger boy, he just sat there saying nothing, while this one basically went after who? I think it was the queen. No, I know it was Kate. Somebody else too. Oh my God! Somebody said, "When do we get Oprah? When do I get Oprah?" And whoever set her up, what was it, CBS? I'm going to get you for that one. You never forget. That was the dumbest move I've ever seen in my life. So remember this. Remember, when I bring up Oprah, you don't think that she's just, do you think that Oprah Winfrey is just what? She's just this talented woman who made what, $1 billion? And everybody's a billionaire. I'm so tired of that bullshit. Everybody's a billionaire. No, they're not. But anyway, you think this woman made all this money from what? Doing the Oprah Winfrey Show or O Magazine? Color Purple? Give me a break. Come on. Oh, I can't wait for this stuff. And you know who also would be so terrific getting to the bottom of this? Trump. I want to get these. If I told you the level of corruption, stop that. To call it corruption doesn't even do it any good. If I told you how sick these people are, you don't know anything about these people. You don't know what sick is. You don't have. I love justice. I love it. And there's this thing where you realize, oh my God. There used to be this thing years ago where, I don't know if you had this, but we had these stories where people in my family would go to the hospital and say, well, your Uncle Joe, the doctor opened him up and Said, nope, they just closed them up and it was just that bad. That's what this is. Johnny Maz says, what do you think of Elise Stefanik? No good. One trick pony. She can be bought. Do you hear what she says about? If you're going to sell out, look, if you're going to be paid by either the Israeli lobby or the gun lobby or the climate lobby, act at least like it's your own ideas. You know what I mean? Don't act like Lindsey Graham. Act like you've thought about this, but don't repeat the same line using equivalency that APAC hands you and says, here, read this. Now, most people, what I just said, most people in the country have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you one thing. Nobody tells my government what to do. Somebody said, and of course, nobody has the guts. Nobody will talk about this. They just don't. And I don't even think they understand it. But somebody said that the joke was that Israel, they said, is the 51st state. And somebody said, no, it's the District of Columbia. And I thought that was important. Let me explain to you something. There's a bigger issue. Is your country for sale? Answer me a question. Is your country for sale? Do you mind that your country is for sale? That it's bought and sold? That you've got members of Congress who are bought and sold? They've been bought and sold by Big Pharma. During COVID, they bought and sold by Big Agra. You forgot about Big Agra. Bought and sold by the World Economic Forum, those bastards. And now you've got a bunch of people who basically want to send our weapons to Israel for what? I mean, it's like, do you not understand? Do you not see what's going on here? Excuse me. See that flag behind me? That one there? Yeah, that the flag. Yeah, I don't see any other countries on there but ours. And if you think I'm being anti-Semitic or whatever, the hell with you. So no, Elise Stefanik, no. Same thing. And by the way, I didn't like when the NRA had more power. I didn't like the fact that they owned people. You own. It's like, well, I kind of agree with some of this stuff, but I don't like this. I don't like this. You know, Citizens United and all that stuff. So I just want to get to the bottom. I just want everything undone. And by the way, you know who was the biggest phony of them all? Is anybody here voting for Bobby Kennedy? Anybody here? Tell me. I want to hear it from you. Have the guts to tell me. Is anybody here voting for Bobby Kennedy? Say it. Come on, say it. Anybody? Tell me. Nope. TT. I like that. TT. TT. That sounds like a name for like your grandma. TT. No, and TT. TT like Tata. Not a chance. No. Brown Rig's not doing it. No. I'm voting for Jack Kennedy's worm brain. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Touche. I wouldn't vote for that lying sack of shite. Can you believe me? What a bunch of bullshit this guy is. Oh, he was great at first. Wasn't he terrific? Lee's wife is. I'm working on her. No. Lee, you know what you did with your wife? You told her this. No, go ahead. No, seriously. No, do it. Do it. No, vote for him. That's a great idea. No, seriously. That's great. What's the matter? No, vote for him. No, that's great. That's terrific. That's terrific. Oh, you go do that. I'm sure you got a good reason for that, huh? Huh? Bobby Kennedy. I can't stand the Kennedys. I I I I I I can't stand them. I can't stand people who think they're royalty. I can't stand people who think they're better. They think they're better than you. They do. Oh my God. You know who they really thought they were better than? Remember this? The Cuomos. Did you ever hear that story? The Cuomos. Fredo and Andrew. Andrew married what's her name? Remember that one? And they were just like basically like laughing at him and oh, they think they're oh please. One of the best stories ever. And it's terrible what the Kennedy women have gone through. What Jackie, let me tell you something. When you're sitting there and all of a sudden you hear and you look and your husband's head is like green, like pink mist, that'll screw you up. And when Ethel had her husband, he was 47 years old. No, that was horrible. What they had, no, I don't care who you are. You don't believe me. You don't. That will mess. This is battle stuff. This is hardcore. Okay. And what she went through, that notwithstanding, you know what they always said? Nobody supervised those Kennedy kids. They were just all, you're on your own. Have a good day. You got that? Freddie Ball says, really difficult to believe Donald can find attorney general that will stand the wall of the next Alamo. You know what, Fred? And by the way, thank you, sir. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I don't know how he can do that. I don't know how anybody in there, I don't know if anybody has the cojones to do this. I really don't. I don't know if anybody really wants to be a statesman, to be a great attorney general, to be I don't think people really understand what that means. You know, Ed Meese, bless his heart, tried to be. We've had some class. Ed, you remember the Meese Commission? Do you remember the Meese Commission? By the way, Nick, I like it. I need some likes. I need some likes, my friend. I told you this before. Can't believe I'm begging for likes. It's like I'm standing on a corner. I need 9 likes to get 600, and then I can whatever. Okay, you got that? But who were the great attorneys general of all times? I'm trying to think. John Mitchell. Remember that guy? This was the biggest crook of them all. Ramsey. Was that Ramsey Clark? Was it? That was it. William French Smith. Ed Meese. Oh, Ed Meese. It was the Meese Commission. Do you remember his book on pornography? They couldn't keep it in stock. It was one of the filthiest things anybody's ever seen. Remember that one? It was great. I think they stopped putting it up because he was showing people, and this is pornographic, and this, well, thank you, Ed. Can you show us some more? Well, as a matter of fact, I can. Thanks, Ed. Well, thank you. No, I don't know. Bill Barr was a disappointment. They all are. I don't know if anybody can do it. Listen, it's going to be tough. But the bottom line is simply this. Trump's going to need all the help he gets. And he needs somebody to really help him. 610 likes. Thank you, dear friends. I appreciate that. You made my day. Trump's going to have something. And let me explain this to you. Number one, first, he has, I think Stephen Miller, others, he has to have a cadre. I want to tell you something right now. Listen to me. And I'm going to tell you this. And I say this partly in jest, but not really, but partly in jest. Trump's going to have to come out and say, hello. Trump walks out and he's surrounded by ninjas, like 10 or, I don't know, ninjas. The ninja hat, ninja glove, ninjas. And he says, and believe it or not, this has been said in so many different ways. It's not even funny, but he says, and you're probably wondering who these people are. Yes, they are ninjas. And I have right now immediately dismissed the Secret Service and have asked them to leave. We do not need you anymore. Thank you very much for your service. Now get out. I don't trust you. These are going, they have sworn fealty to me. These ninjas. Did you understand this? Here's one for you. Did you know that in terms of the attorneys general, Merrick Garland, of course, as you know this, there were some acting attorneys general. Did you remember Monty Wilkinson? He was from January the 20th to March the 11th. John Demers. He was on the January the 20th. He was one day. Jeffrey Rosen. He was about a month. Then there was Bill Barr. Some guy, Matthew Whitaker. Remember that? He was in acting. Jeff Sessions. So all of these, Sally Yates was acting. Dana Benty. Loretta Lynch. Eric Holder. Michael Mukasey. He was good. He was very good. Alberto Gonzalez. John Ashcroft. Janet Reno. Bill Barr was acting. Dick Thornburg. Ed Meese. William French Smith. Benjamin Civiletti. Griffin Bell. Griffin Bell. To hear him. Wonderful. Dick Thornburg. Ed Levi. William Saxby. You know who would have? Oh, Elliot Richardson. Do yourself a favor. Listen to Elliot Richardson speak. Listen to Elliot Richardson speak. And he had a style, a Brahmin style that you cannot believe. Do you know who my absolute favorite jurist of recent times, who would have been wonderful? I would have done everything in my power to have not just as a Supreme Court judge. I think he'd be wasted. Robert Bork. I loved him. Do yourself a favor. Go back and listen to him. Slouching Towards Gomorrah, I think was one of his books. Listen to him. Listen to his speeches. Listen to the way he speaks. Listen to how he pays homage to this. Listen. This is it. He was, and if we get somebody, I hope, like a Nino Scalia, maybe then we can do it. I want somebody who follows this wonderful Constitution and who does it the right way. And who basically comes along and says this. Let me give you an example of something. Make it very, very simple. Let's assume I'm a tennis judge. I'm at the U.S. Open, and I'm doing, I'm a Lions judge. And I'm sitting there and I say, you know what? This is ridiculous. I got Federer, I got this guy, I got Djokovic, whatever his name is. I got this. They can put a ball into a shot glass. And the idea, they've got these stupid alleys here, these lines that were from the 19th century. Come on. What is this, big Tilden? Is Bill Tilden playing, or Jack Kramer? This is ridiculous. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call this ball out. Because the very fact that he hit it this close to the line, I think he did that on purpose. I think the game should evolve. I think these alleys are too, and basketball, that rim is too low considering all of the heights of these players. I'm going to raise it. Forget the rules, because basketball is an evolving sport and tennis is an evolving sport. What if I did that? You can't do that. That's why you can't do this with the Constitution. It's evolving. It changes. That's not what it means. Yes, it does. No, that's what it means. If you sat with any of the drafters, anybody from Madison on down and said, Jimmy, what happens one day when people decide that, not an interpretation, but that the Constitution itself, let me create something called privacy. This is the most important thing in the world. Look at Nick Nightingale. That's for you, Nick. That's for you. It's the most. I want you to understand something. This is the most important thing in the world. In 1965, there was a case, Griswold against Connecticut. And I'm going to get this for you. You got to hear this. It basically dealt with the idea that there was a law in Connecticut that prohibited the use of contraception, even by people who were married. It was stupid, okay? And it was the Knights of Columbus, and they wanted to make a big deal, whatever the hell it was. Okay, listen to me carefully. The case, there was a law in Connecticut that prevented this. Now, let me ask you a question. Is there anything in the Constitution that would prevent a prohibition against contraceptions? Anything? Let me ask you this. Is there anything? The answer is no. 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 Let me see if I can clarify this. No. Is there anything in the Constitution that would prevent the prohibition of drugs? No. Obviously. Liquor? No. There's not. Is there, let me say this again. Listen to me carefully. Is there anything in the Constitution? No. If your state wants to ban liquor, can it? Yes. Forget the Volstead Act and all the other kind of nonsense. Sure it can. It can ban pot, cigarettes, it can do whatever it wants. If the state of Georgia or Montana decides to do this, that's the way it is. Period. You follow that? You got that? Let me just make sure you understand this. Even if you think that's stupid, the Constitution doesn't say anything about that. You want to do it? Go ahead. The Constitution only makes 3 guarantees. What is it? They only talk about three times. They even bring it up in the Fifth Amendment. Life, liberty, and property. They can't take life, liberty, and property without due process. That's it. They don't guarantee life. They don't guarantee liberty. They don't guarantee property. They just say we can't take it away unless we provide for some type of due process, which is notice and the opportunity to be heard. Okay, you got it? Good. That's it. That's it. So what happened was in Griswold, William O. Douglas said that the First, Third, Fourth, Fifth, and Ninth Amendment, the third, quartering soldiers at your house against your will, the First, Third, Fourth, Fifth, and Ninth create penumbras that establish an implied right to privacy in the Constitution. A penumbra is a shadow or emanation from a guarantee that gives it substance. Together, the penumbras create a zone of privacy that includes the right to make choices about one's body and life without governmental interference. Absolute 100% 18-karat bullshit. 1965, William O. Douglas, Griswold, gave us privacy. Unbelievable. Now, there's not anybody that we know who would advocate the prohibition of contraceptions. But the problem is that there was no protection in the Constitution. So, ladies and gentlemen, am I a conservative? No. There's nothing in there. You can't just change it. If I'm a line judge and I say, the rules say here, it says that it's 9 feet from it. No, because you see the evolution. That's it. That is strict. That is originalism. That's the Nino Scalia school. That's it. That's it. Clarence Thomas, Bork, Nino. It's the only way to do it. Period, my friends. Now, let me thank you. Let me tell you something. I have been talking to you for 1 hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minutes straight. And by the way, Fred Ball and Johnny Maz and Yogi Fish, good to see you, Yogi. Seriously. Good to see you again. Barry Taylor, thank you. Thank you. For 1 hour and 20 minutes, I have been speaking to you. 1 hour and 20 minutes straight. Unscripted, and I'm looking just at me and some thumbnails. Take that, Bill Maher. You do that. Let me see you do it, buddy boy. Good. And don't do the after what? A half an hour? Keep going. Keep going. 45 minutes? Keep going. An hour? Keep going. Keep going. That's it. All right? Me and Trump. That's right, Shelby. Me and Trump. Right arm. Okay, dear friends, thank you so much. Please do me a favor. Mrs. L has got a wonderful. You have been so kind to her, and she has been, you have no idea. Today we were out. She was talking to one of her warriors. She is doing, one day she'll tell you about it. It's very, very exciting. But we were downtown in the kind of in Soho area. It was really something today. And there was a huge, what was that big purse on Broome? What was that? It looked like a, huh? It's like a Birkin bag, this huge bag. Anyway, we're out and about. Please watch this wonderful channel of hers. And also what she would have Cassie say. I did something very important about Cassie. Oh, that's going well, but get ready because it's going up. It's going to drop. So sign up right now. That's the one you got to hear because that case is so important. And Billy Pierce, Woodchuck baby, forever. And I mean that sincerely. How dare you? Okay, dear friends, an hour and 22 and a half minutes. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your alacrity, your celerity, and your perspicacity. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And until then, my friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.